Today's show brought to you by HP.
Before we do the next episode, did you see the Letterman stuff?
I did, and you know what's it? By the way, his ratings are up 35%, I believe.
Yeah, the ratings will go up for sure. Do you think CBS has a problem?
Well, so for those people that don't know what's going on, I suppose he was sleeping around, right?
Letterman was having an affair with an intern.
A few.
That's a few interns. That's the basic story.
Yeah.
All consensual, all that stuff. I mean,
we believe.
Yeah, exactly, from what we know.
Right.
So he gets caught. He does the thing. Do you think that it was a smart PR move to make the statement on TV?
I do think so, and I think a lot of people do as well. I mean, it's going to be. I saw something today, by the way, that CBS are scrubbing all the different versions. But I don't know if they're taking down everything or just the non-authorized or non-official ones, especially the ones that have commentary on. But suffice it to say, the thing about Letterman is, you see, this is the interesting thing. Letterman has a pulpit. He has a podium, right? You know, and by him actually using that and breaking the news on his own show, he took the fight to his opponent. You know, he controlled, and that's the only time when control actually makes sense, is rather, if anyone's going to be in control, it probably should be you in this particular case. But he basically is controlling the issue by saying, hey, this is my home base, my home advantage, my home turf, and I'm going to go ahead and take the high road in a sense. So, you know, it's not dissimilar to somebody that has a beef with a company and they go and create a blog post on their own blog. It's their channel, and because of that, they definitely get the upper hand. So yeah, I think it was pretty smart, and I think it felt consistent in terms of who he is, which is, and by the way, he's doing it a lot lately, isn't he? He did it with Sarah Palin. He had to he's eating a lot of, what do they call it, humble pie or crow? Yeah. What do they call it?
Crow, either one.
He's eating crow pie a lot, crow pea. But it's, I mean, it's definitely very interesting, and you know, I guess the question is he going to be okay? You asked me, is CBS going to be okay with him?
Yeah, I mean, sexual harassment issues and all of that stuff.
I think, you know what, I think that, I don't think he does anything. He likes to portray himself being a rogue, and they always badmouth, you know, whether it's him or Kimmel, badmouthing their own networks. I don't think he basically does anything without their approval. He creates a nice distance between them, and almost a dissidence, or a little bit, there's always that little bit of tension. I would have said sexual tension, but that ship has sailed. But he creates that tension, and I think absolutely it was vetted. He didn't do anything that they didn't sign off on, and I think he'll be fine, you know. I think people actually appreciate seeing a human side of him.
I happen to agree with that. I think that ultimately it does help him in the long run because it humanizes him a bit. How come he doesn't have a Twitter account?
I mean, have you seen the telephone on the set? You know, it's still the push operator. But you know what I mean? It's the same, by the way, speaking of Twitter, and I'm glad you brought it up. It's the same concept with Twitter and celebrities right now. That what celebrities are doing is they're taking control back from the paparazzi and TMZ. So TMZ and the paparazzi can't break the news because celebrities are breaking the news. The NBA just recently announced that they're banning Twitter now from pre-match and halftime events. So, and that, of course, is the establishment or the institution trying to take back control to them. So it's amazing. It's like a seesaw battle. I mean, Letterman's probably never going to have a Twitter account, and if he does, it's just going to be to mock everybody on Twitter. It's not authentic. It's not who he is. You know, he's part of his brand is to be a technophile or a Neanderthal with technology.
Right, a Luddite.
Yeah, so I mean, look, I've always been a fan of Letterman, and I think, you know, like recently having a kid, getting married, you know, he was going the same way that Michael Jackson was going in terms of being perceived as too eccentric, too aloof. Like, we don't know what goes on after hours. And what he's showing us is that he's just like us, you know, admittedly just with a lot more money and a gap between his teeth and lots of young interns. And I could keep going on, but...
All right, put your feet down. Let's do a Jaffe juice.
Alrighty. Dave, call me.